masturbate often because I have a fear of going blind. So, yes. When
going
I
blind?
found, yes.
You could go blind from
Yes. I read about it. Is that true?
No.
It's not true.
It's not.
Okay.
Because I was going to say I should have been blind a long time ago.
Let me drop some knowledge on you real quick.
I was just playing.
But
Hey, what's up, good people? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger. Make sure you check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Thank you very much.
Because they had nothing else to do.
So it was like, imagine that your late husband was actually your father. I can't imagine that because that's disgusting.
Very much so.
And then I would have to clean my basement because that's where my actual father resides right now. So, okay. The 60-year-old woman learned the truth about her husband, Percy, 6 years after he passed away.
Not Percy, though. Percy doesn't sound like that name.
Percy just sounds like a feminine boy.
really?
Yeah.
But nobody told
You don't think
you
it?
at no point.
Like Percy. Look at Percy over there with his purse.
Oh, his name first.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
Every time.
You just have to really
have faith and believe.
Right, and it's everything isn't going to be cotton candy and clouds all the time, but you have to, even in the midst of a storm, you have to speak light over a situation and life over a situation. You cannot always go into every situation. Sometimes it gets above you, and sometimes you got to speak over yourself and bring yourself back to focus, and because you already there. But in most cases, we take ourselves there. We walk ourselves over that dark threshold because it's easy for us. It's easy for us to be victimized and to be downtrodden and in that dark place when things happen to us. Right. But you got to figure out how to successfully move into that. And a lot of you may say, what does this have to do with being an artist? It has a lot to do with being an artist, because I don't want to just talk about ticket sales. Right. I want you to be a healthy, long-lasting artist in your own right, a long-lasting entrepreneur. And sometimes we try to mask what's going on with us with putting ourselves to work. So I'm gonna put myself deeper into this project, and it was times where I didn't want to be a part of things. I didn't want to be, because I wasn't whole. I wasn't happy with where I was at, with things that was going on in my life, and I didn't care how successful a play was. Like I just didn't care, but all I knew was to work. Right. So I would put myself deeper into work, and I didn't address what was going on, and sometimes that made the situation worse, because once this play or this project is over, I still gotta face that. Right. So I was sweeping it under the rug and not thinking about it and not focusing on it, and all the while it's growing and festering and getting worse. Right. And I'm over here just trying to be an artist, but you gotta heal from within, and it's an ongoing process, and you may never get to your destination, but the journey itself is worth fighting for. Right. Even if you don't make it, or you transition before you get there, but
I don't have that if factor. It's like, when we make it, we're going to make it. It's like, I don't know. Some people's like I'm not knocking what you saying if, but my version of if is like, it's not. It's like, it's doubt, and I try not to have if in there, because if you have if, then that means it's a but.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. every Saturday 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com. Check out this flashback from the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
So you're your biggest asset. You have to practice self-care. Every entrepreneur has to practice self-care. You have to release yourself from toxic situations.
Explain to us real quick, what is a toxic situation?
A toxic situation is something that will control your mind, something that hurts you, something that you have to battle. Toxic, hurt. If you're in a toxic situation, if you get hurt, if you get pain, if you get struggle, right? And if your spirit does not align correctly, that may be a toxic situation. So when I say you make that jump when your values don't align, you make decisions based on your values. And if those decisions don't align with your values, then that's when you say no.
Tune into the Artist Exchange every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every
one
Saturday,
night. This is
12
the night that I
p.m.
put my head through the window and everything.
Why would you do that?
Now, I was sitting on the floor.
All these stories always involve alcohol.
They do. I was sitting on the floor, and my drink of choice back then was vodka and orange juice.
Ooh,
it's still my drink of choice, but I don't drink it.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Joining us right now is Mr. Antonio Long. He was one of our first See Baltimore artists. That tour is actually under construction, and we're doing some revamping and making sure the foundation is solid.
Yes.
So we haven't forgotten about it. So December we kind of took a pause, and we'll be back up and running in January. My mind is gone. Food. I need food. If you're in the downtown Baltimore area and you have a cheeseburger in your hand, definitely stop past the studio, give me a call, and let me know where you are, and I'll meet you wherever you are. But Antonio Long is joining us in the building. He's a singer, inspirational, not necessarily gospel, not necessarily R&B, but encompassed of both of them. Yeah. So let us know a little bit about who you are, what you do. Singer.
Writer, recording artist, and I just like to make good music.
There we go.
From Baltimore.
So possibly we'll hear a little bit of it live, if he's not afraid, because we throw people under the bus.
Yeah.
Talent-wise.
No doubt.
On this show. We got to see if you got the chops to sink or swim.
Okay.
We do it. We don't hold back here. We don't hold back here. But we'll definitely try to hear from him a couple more segments. So let us know about your music. So do you have an EP coming out, or is it one in the making?
I just released the EP, actually, October 28th.
Okay, okay.
Yeah, it's called Life.
Life.
Yeah.
So what was it like making that?
It was fun. This is my first... it's 8 songs on the project, so it's kind of a little more lengthy than your typical EP. But I put out a mixtape last year, but this is my first official project. Everything else has been singles. So
you're singing your own music now?
I'm singing my own music.
Did you write it?
All original music. Yep.
Okay.
And it was fun. The creative process was fun. I worked with Junior Lee.
Okay.
With Faith Junkie Productions. He's based out of Delaware.
Okay.
And it was fun. I was going up there. 2-3 times.
It was business because it's your money on the line.
Definitely.
Right.
No major labels.
Yeah, no doubt. It was fun. It gave me. It's more work than what I expected. Honestly, because
you're doing a bunch of different. You're writing and the performer in it, so that's 2 big jobs right there.
Yeah, it was definitely. But creatively, it was great. It was great collaborations. I also worked with Anthony Johnson. He produced a song off of the EP. He's from Virginia, and I worked with So For Real Productions.
You deal with some legit individuals. Okay.
Yeah. So.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on Be Exposed Radio.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
And you have to do some self-care.
Right.
Because you begin to break yourself down worrying about how people will be or how people are treating you, and you see them damaging your life, but something in you just wants to be patient with them. But you have to learn how to let people go. Everybody is not meant to be there for a lifetime.
Right.
And you have to learn your lesson and move on sometimes.
Right. Some people are there just for a season, and And it's like you have people in your life that are roots, you have people in your life that are branches, and you have people in your life that are leaves.
Right.
You know, you got the people that's there, like the leaves, they gonna be there, hey, I'm just here, you know what I'm saying? So
as soon as the wind blows,
snap, let me get out of here, I'm gone.
Yeah.
And then you got that one branch, like, you know, I'm gonna fight with you for a second. Oh, snap, the wind too strong, she broke off. But you got that one, you got those roots there, you know, those are your elders, the one that's actually there showing you the way, you know, that's actually taking their time, and that's just helping you, like, get molded. And once that wind comes, you know what I'm saying, you can sway left, you can sway far right, but no matter what, the roots are still going to be there to hold you strong. Like, you know what, I got you. You know, you're gonna make it through this. You know, we can do this together. We're a stronghold. So, you know, don't let nothing break that. You know what I'm saying?
And part of the discussion that I had today, and
even as a comedian, if I say a joke and it just might not fit your cup of tea, but it's mine.
Yeah,
that's what a comedian is supposed to do.
But people forget
everybody's not going to find your jokes funny. They better find mine funny.
But they forget that, though. They really forget that. They forget that but it's your view. That's why they didn't fire her.
Yeah.
Because her viewpoint is controversial.
Her view.
It's
That's the view she sees.
Right.
Everybody is clear to her.
Like they did their reaction to
cellophane.
They did the reaction to the Chris Rock Oscar, and they were talking about Stacey Dash, and I don't think she agrees with Stacey Dash, but she pointed her out as somebody who has an opinion that is just different from everybody else's.
Her opinion is just stupid, though. Stacey Dash she's like a dash. Let's just move on.
I think she's intelligent, but her
You're still going.
opinion.
We're gonna move on. Stacey Dash doesn't need to be talking.
Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Artist Exchange Live.
The Artist Exchange. The Artist Exchange.
The Artist Exchange.
Starts now. I saw people with the stuff on. Hold on, we got this stuff. I don't like people playing with my money, on my time. I work hard. We on? Welcome to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BigExposedRadio.com. We got a little slow start. Fix our mic. You've been here before. Don't act like you ain't never been here before.
What had happened was y'all got fancy on me.
A little fancy.
Yeah.
Lift it up a little bit.
Yeah, I weren't ready.
There you go. So we're here today. If you didn't see her, Miss Grace is joining us.
Ooh.
Also, our co-host, Miss SweetBaBy.
Happy Saturday, everybody.
Unfortunately, Damonn won't be joining us. He's had a family emergency, so he'll be joining us back with us hopefully next week. And we'll hear from him. If you call in, let us know an update, then we'll be able to get it done. But the show must go on. We're here today. First of all, don't play with Nate money. Don't play with any business owner's money.
Off the rip.
Off the rip.
First thing we're going to discuss is.
And specifically to artists, if you have any artistry like paperless poetry.
Ooh.
Or, you know, whatever your artistry is. And we speak mainly to artists, but in general, entrepreneurs, community leaders, anybody who works hard for their money. If you work at McDonald's, don't play with my money. And I say that to say only people work hard and times are really hard and they're really tough. Be honest and upfront. I've been in several different consignment situations with my art, and I have found that if people don't pay for your work up front, they really don't have a need to sell it. They're pushing the things that they actually have receipts for and they actually sold. They were sold. They paid for. I said it like that. And without being messy, because I know the lady who I just had an interruption with, I call it an interruption, 2018, new language, new way.
I like that.
You know, we had a little interruption, a distraction in our relationship. And I don't be honest and upfront. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm a person, my art is really personal to me. I don't make art for the dollar, but don't mess with my dollar, because every one of my hard-earned trinkets went into making each piece that I'm making. Every piece is very personal to me, and that's just me being sensitive about my ish. But
no, I think that's just in general. Like for me, especially when it comes to like poetry and stuff. Like a lot of people don't understand what actually goes into making stuff, and actually how much time consuming it is, and how much energy consuming it is.
And it's a part of you. Like it's a part of, you're giving somebody a part of who you are when you give up your artwork.
That's so true, because like I've literally went to blood banks and all that stuff to donate blood and stuff so I can get money to afford to pay for Poets for Dinner, to afford to pay for me to publish my book. Like I've literally done that. I've hacked. I've done things that I normally wouldn't do just so I can be able to afford to produce my art.
Hello. And on that note, we're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back with Miss Paperless Poetry by Grace Precious Love Givens.
The whole government. The whole government.
So we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
Listen to Elizabeth Warren talking about Black lives and you are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
It's time for a flashback.
Now, I'm not going to say all Aries don't know, but
It's just the one you had. That was
just a long one, right? You know. But it's always something that you can
Go ahead, listen. Can you recollect any signs that you might not get right?
October 15th or 16th. What is that?
And Libras.
See, I've had some good Libras and I had one really bad Libra, but he was white, so he f***ed his back anyway. So I don't.
Wait. Hold on. Wait a minute. Demonstrate. You got to demonstrate the.
Hey everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired radio show. So how important is it for you to have an organization like that and having a child of your own? How does that influence your ability to do the Impact organization?
It influences a lot. It's a little bit challenging because a lot of times people will say, oh, like you have to practice what you preach, right? So if I'm telling my daughter and I'm raising her under the impact principles and I'm telling other mothers to do this, I have to do the same thing with my child, which is kind of testy a little bit. But I see a lot of development with her. Her leadership, she's only 4. And when I say she has some awesome leadership qualifications, I mean awesome. It's little things that we can observe with our kids, right?
Right.
For instance, when we take them to the park, she brings out a toy, and other people wants to play with them. But she's the only child, by the way. She's not going to say, no, you can't play. Only play with this person. She takes the leader in the upper row and be like, okay, well, let's all take turns. So everybody get in the line. Okay, now you go first. Okay, now you go first. And she makes herself last. And that's what I want to see, that's what I would like to see in all kids. And she's only 4. And when I see those leadership qualifications, of course I have to praise her. Because I'm like, awesome, London, you're being a really good leader. So, it's amazing, and it works. I mean, it really works, my child. And I'm not saying she's a perfect child, because there's no such thing as a perfect child. But when you instill impact principles into your child, and, especially at a young age, and influence their everyday life. Even her teachers are telling me, like, I can see the work that you're doing with her for a single mom. Thank you. Like, they're just thanking me. And that's a blessing as well.
And I think really what it is that our youth just needs that kind of guidance. That's it. Once they have an example, someone that they can follow or someone that they see doing something great or maybe doing something similar, that right there is a catalyst for their success.
Yep, absolutely. And, it also goes with the mom as well. The mom and the dad.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on Be Exposed Radio.
Do yourself a favor and listen to this hilarious flashback on Charm City Direct Radio Show.
You know me. I eat like this all the time. Do I gain any weight? No, at all. You can have my belly, right? I'm giving away body parts. Somebody said they need a butt. Somebody said they need
I can use a little extra tissue there.
I can pop it. right now.
He out here giving out butt cheek donations.
Hey everybody, it's your girl, the magical glow getter herself, Anissa Maureen, co-host of the Charm City Direct Radio Show. Catch me and the rest of my team every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. on BeExposedRadio.com.
Yeah, this the man that holds it down, Mr. Showtime, D the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
I'm in a relationship.
Mm-hmm.
My girl happens to be long distance.
Mm-hmm.
So with that being said, I beat my thing like it owes me money. Sorry.
Because I asked that because so many people are not comfortable.
Here's my thing. It's mine.
That's right.
And you need to know yourself before you can have somebody please. If you can't tell nobody how to please you, if you don't know how to please yourself.
That's right.
You know
what you like.
You know what you like. You know the stroke, all that.
Mm-hmm.
So you're right. And I mean, you shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's your body. Yeah, I'm over here struggling with the ear.
Yeah, I'm glad it's you today. I'm glad you today, brother.
Oh, this thing going to drop. It's going to drop about at least like 5 times.
I'm over there struggling.
So ED, do you have a problem with masturbating? No, I don't. I don't masturbate often because I have a fear of going blind. So, yes. When I found, yes.
You could go blind from
Yes. I read about it. Is that true? No. It's not true. It's not. Okay.
I was going to say I should be blind.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Hey, welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show here live only on BeExposedRadio.com. It's me, your host, Nate. We're back here. And, okay, so yesterday we started our series on hashtag Let's Go Get It. That's our theme for 2018 here on the Artist Exchange. And yesterday we dealt with forgiveness. So yesterday was all about forgiveness. So we figured out what our stuff was about. What those things we need to drop off on the curb and wait till the trash man come get them. We also realized some of the things that are kind of a hindrance, kind of like a roadblock to us. And now today we're talking about making yourself a priority. So we figured out the things, people, places, objects that are kind of a distraction to us. So now let's focus on ourselves. So you've prioritized what isn't working, and we're not quite yet ready to start creating the things that are working or we want to work on, but we have to first make ourselves a priority. So what are the things that we need to do that are creating a roadblock in us being who we want to be? So we kind of discussed that yesterday. If you did not hear the show yesterday, please tune in. You can go to our YouTube page at Be Exposed Radio, or you can go to our radio show page, the Artist Exchange, and you can pick it up there and watch it. But today we're talking about just making yourself a priority, choosing yourself beyond all else. About 4 years ago, I had like a life gut blow, and I went to my pastor and we had a conversation. And I remember the last thing she said to me was, this is your selfish season. You have to figure out what you want. You can't keep giving, Nate, if your cup is empty. What are you giving at that point?
Come on.
So I went through a couple years of just being selfish. And selfish in terms of really sticking to my gun. So your notes, you and Damonn's notes to me yesterday was for a reason. I am that person for a reason because I have to stay focused on my mission and not kind of veer off to somebody else's lane. I have to really stay focused and on who I am. And that could come off as pushy. And we meet those types of people and they're really pushy. And you know the difference between somebody being mean or bitchy or whatever and somebody who's just focused. So you know the difference, but it still comes out looking the same. But I had to choose me and make myself a priority. The end of this last year that we just came out of, a couple of my friends, they were getting angry with me because I wasn't accepting phone calls. I wasn't really talking much beyond I'll respond to a text message with a couple words because I did not want to be distracted. You know how you about to go out the door and somebody calls you, and what should have been 10 minutes to get you out the house, it's like an hour to pass, and you still sitting, laying across the bed. The show is halfway over, and you're still sitting on the bed having a conversation with somebody. Those types of distractions I don't need anymore. It's not personal in terms of I have an issue with that person, so to speak, but I have an issue with being distracted.
Right.
So I have to choose me. I have to make myself a priority. What I have to do is more important than having a conversation in this moment. Sorry, not sorry. Like, I have to really focus in on that because I'm easily distracted. Like, very easily. Like, a bird could fly, and I'll find myself fixed on this bird, and I'm standing in the middle of the street. And that I'm not a bumbling fool, but I'm easily distracted by small things. So I really had to start choosing me, and a lot of people had issues with that. I don't have a problem with you having an issue with that, but I had to choose me.
That becomes a personal problem for them.
It is personal. It has nothing, but it has nothing to do with me.
At the end of the day, if they can't see that you're trying to grow and accept the fact that you're trying to grow and even encourage you to grow, in fact, they should be like, you know what? Aren't you supposed to be somewhere? Why are you on the phone? Aren't you supposed to be working? Why are you on the phone?
But they're getting their agenda met.
Yep.
You ever been on the phone with somebody and they call you up and they start going off and everything is wrong, and there's nothing wrong with that because I want my friends and my family to be able to do that to me. But the conversation then subsides and they get what they need out of the conversation, and then you're like, well, girl, my day was
but they gotta go.
Oh, well.
All right, then.
All right.
Or they'll just say, I don't want to hear that.
Or you doing the most.
Right.
You being extra.
Right.
My mother does that. She does the reverse of that. She'll call me and whatever's going on in the family, she tell me, she update me because I kind of stay to myself a lot. So she'll just give me updates. And there were moments where I was going through the last three years or so, and I didn't feel like hearing about nobody else's problems.
I need you to get out my life, yo. I need you to get out my life.
And I told my mother I remember the first time I said it to her, I was like, Ma, I don't care. And she went off. And I was like, Ma, I don't mean to be disrespectful to you, but I just don't care what X, Y, and Z is doing in their life because they're not paying for anything for me. They're not helping me. They're not supporting my goals. So beyond that, I just don't care because you start taking on. We talked about being an empath yesterday. You start taking on other people's stress. And I would wear that. And I remember I used to have this numbing feeling in my arm. People yell. That's why I don't argue, I don't yell, I don't scream, because it wears down on you and you begin to wear it like a heavy coat.
Right.
And it's hot and it's warm and it's heavy and you can't function, you can't move. So we're going to talk more about this when we come back. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back here on the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
Everybody, check out what you missed on the one and only Be Inspired Radio Show. Now, here's one little speech I'm going to give you before I get into the next article. Here's what I want to tell you. Still, but fear is big business. Fear is big business. I'm not telling you not to be alarmed by what you're seeing. I'm not telling you not to be concerned. What I'm saying is not to buy into the notion that we should be afraid. You should be informed. You should be aware. You should start educating yourself about some things. I don't have the solutions. I don't have the answer. I wish I could say that if you did X, Y, and Z, you might not get shot by the police. I wish I could tell you that, but I can't. But what I can say is just start making yourself aware of what's going on, but don't be so consumed by what you're seeing that you become afraid, that you don't want to go out. Or you become numb. That's a good point, Nate. Nate said, or you become numb to it, like you just don't care. So we need you to just continue to be in touch with what's going on, but educate your family, talk to your sons, talk to your daughters, because it's not just limited to men. We know from Sandra Bland, she was a young woman who was killed. And we don't want to say, we don't know all the details behind what happened. No. The fact is that person's life still matters. They still have rights. They should not just be killed dead before they even get a trial. Okay, that's the point. You know, they deserve a trial at least, but they can't even make it to the jail cell to get a trial, to be tried. They're being killed even before arrest. Terrible. So that's my soapbox.
Tune in to Be Inspired every Wednesday live at 7 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com.
Talk Lately is back on May 17th at 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
This is Tyree Miles, also known as Mr. Miles the Writer on Instagram, Fly T Miles.
Hip Hop K, that's Hip Hop Kzar. Hip Hop K on IG, hip_hop_K.
Oh look, we coming to y'all with this new show called It Is What It Is, where we come with views, y'all.
And it's coming on every Friday, 9 to 11. Check us out.
Make sure y'all get with us. We'll be talking about any and everything, because it is what it is.
Since you've been listening this far, we're going to throw in a little bonus hour. You ready? Hoo-ha!
Bonus hour's gonna last. I'm getting addicted.
Love this extra hour. Everything is organic here on the bonus hour.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
On books for years, you know.
So we're back. We're just having a little commercial talk. But this year is really, so last year was about jumping off the bridge. Jumping off the bridge. Mm-hmm. But now you jumped. You fell, you bust up your skin, your arm is broke. So now it's time to reevaluate what you were doing. We were talking yesterday, that's one of the notes that I gave to SweetBaBy. Like, she catapulted out there last year. So now, what did you learn?
Rein it in. Refinery.
So now you know you have the courage to jump out there.
Yes.
Now let's get better prepared to do it.
Yeah.
So the next time you jump, I ain't gonna break both of my arms.
You might have a parachute this time.
Right, I might have a parachute this time.
Or at least a floaty or something.
Exactly. Something to soften that blow a little bit. So life is about failing, because you don't learn anything. You can't go through life making perfect decisions, because at some point somebody's gonna throw a monkey wrench in there that you weren't prepared for, and then everything's gonna derail or not if you prepared yourself.
Right.
For me, even in the storm, I just still keep moving forward. And I've had some storms in the past, year or so, and I'm amazed at myself when I look over time and I'm like, man, you just kept going. And a lot of people see it, and I just don't, for me, it's just, you gotta keep moving. For me, I've been in a really bad accident. And in that accident, I had bruised up my arm. My arm had all these red marks on it. My arm went through the steering wheel.
Ooh.
And it could have broke. But in that moment, I said, I got to get out of here. I can't stay right here until help comes, because it might be too late.
Right.
So I got out of the car, and I should not have walked away, because I didn't know that was illegal at the time. But I started walking away, leaving the scene of a crime. A car accident.
Right.
Don't do that, because you can go to jail. But it's illegal, especially when you run into public property. So I just ran into a pole, that was it. But I got out because I felt like if I'd have stayed there, I would have been hurt. I would have felt hurt. And, the next day you wake up, things sore, ouch, your leg a little stiff for hitting on that gas. But I was like, I got to get up, because if I stay here, I'm going to be hurt, and they're going to have to take me away. I hate being in the ambulance. I've been in there twice. I never want to be in another ambulance again. And it's a horrible feeling, even if it's nothing physically wrong with you, if you're in there with somebody else. But we got to get up and just keep moving and figure out what is working, who's not working, who's working, what combinations of people. Because I saw combinations of people last year who are working together, and I was like, how the hell did that happen? But that was their coming together. Something in that time, in that space with those two people was supposed to happen. It's not for me to understand. It's not even for them to understand. It's just what it is. We got to stop seeking so much understanding and just get out there and do. At some point, you got to get out of the classroom and apply what you've learned. But we're afraid of that fall. We're afraid of what that feels like.
I saw a quote, where it says, faith is not hoping that everything will work out But instead, faith is knowing you're going to be okay, even if it doesn't.
Amen. And it is, and it's the idea of just doing things without fear, and you know, without hesitation, and not worrying about what it will feel like tomorrow. We can't live in tomorrow. Right. We taking time from time that we don't even have yet.
Yeah.
Instead of just being in the moment. It's great. It's part of your responsibility to plan. But you have to plan for years to come, but be in the moment of that plan. And not be trying to live in tomorrow. You know, so I used to, when I remember being in my 20s, and I remember like getting behind in bills, and my mindset was, okay, I'm messed up right now, but I gotta keep working hard, so tomorrow doesn't look like today.
Okay.
And I was roommates with my friend Carl, and Carl is probably like twice my age. And he said to me, like, man, I've been here for like 50 years, and I ain't never thought about that. He be so stuck on right now that he can't move forward, and he trying to solve the problem that's right now. The problem is already here. You late on the rent, so what you gonna do?
Right
now, the longer you wait, the longer you worry, the more you're going into tomorrow with that same problem.
Yeah.
So tomorrow, I have a strategy that I've set forth right now that will help what today's problem is. So I may be $500 short today, but tomorrow my plan is to be $300 short, or whatever. That still sounds crazy, but it takes you out of this sitting in your wallowing in
you
that
cannot
valley.
eat the whole elephant in one bite.
And if you can, you're a good person.
A lady that I used to work with told me that when I first started originally like trying to put my thoughts down on paper into an actual book form, she told me that, and I said, because she's like, I don't understand why it's taking you so long to write a book.
Because you got one sentence that just says everything, and that's not possible.
Exactly. And I'm sitting there like, I can't do it. You know, it's so much because I want it all to be done right now. She's like, no, Grace, you cannot eat the whole elephant in one bite. Start with one word, then add another word, and then next thing you know, you'll be done. And
it's not even finished when you're doing that, because then you go to edit, and then you re-edit, and then you get somebody else to look at it and edit. Like, just get it down. Just do it.
Exactly.
Just do it. And we stay in so much fear because we're so much in what everybody else is thinking, or what I need to do to look a certain way,
or what everybody else is doing. Because then you start feeling like everybody else already did this, and we neglect the fact that, so what if everybody else already did it? They're not you.
That's
you didn't.
That's
do it.
the N word again.
You know. Yep. Narcissism. Yep.
It started when I looked at the definition. Of course, certain faces popped in my head, but I put that to the side, and I started looking at where I fell short. Those three fingers pointing back. Like what qualities in this word do I encompass? Like, that I need to get out of my system. And part of me just being quiet towards the end of last year was definitely that. I don't get mad anymore. Because for me to be mad, I would need to be surprised by people's behavior. And I'm not surprised by it because I see it constantly happening. So when it's reflected back on me, I can't be mad.
Right.
You know, I just have to keep it moving, because then if I stay stuck, I can't blame that person. It's all me.
Right.
You know, I'm not mad when friends, now they get, oh my God, so you really gonna do the radio? Okay, you really doing it? Okay, so let me figure out when it come on. 3.5 years later, like, when does it come on? Like, when is?
Like, you ain't been doing it though.
Yeah, and I would get mad at those things.
But you can't be.
Right. So making myself a priority, making ourselves a priority is key to what it is. So I'm gonna go to my message that I left on Facebook real quick, and it was me. I kind of finalized everything that kind of happened to me up until the 31st of December 2017, and part of it was me figuring out what I don't want and how I want people to treat me and how I expect to be respected. You don't have to like me, you have to agree with me, you don't have to like what I'm doing, but respect is part of the process that I'm not going to waver from or negotiate.
Right.
My sanity, my peace, my perspective is definitely what I'm after. So I posted this post, and sometimes I write And then I'll be like, once I get it all out, like, I don't need to say it. I just got it outside of myself.
Right.
But I still try to make it out. In those moments, I'll write that down in a book or whatever, because I don't want to lose that thought. Because when we forget things, we repeat that same mistake.
That's true.
And I don't want to ever forget what it felt like to go through XYZ. So I'm trying to go through. I share a lot on my page, and I try not to do that because in these moments.
Can I share this quote that's kind of similar to everything that you're saying, though? I found this quote, and I shared it on Post for Dinner's page as well as my own personal page, where I was like, the quote says, the universe does this thing where it aligns you with people, things, and situations that match your vibration. The higher you're vibrating, the more you will see things that are beneficial to your well-being manifesting your reality.
So where were you when that came up? Like where were you at when you said, I gotta put this down?
Well, it's not my quote. Like I said, I found it. But the reason why it resonated with me is because, like we already stated, we've had people in our lives that are lazy who have slowly been, I don't want to say pushing their laziness on you, but you kind of absorb it. Right. They for real have, you kind of absorb it, and you absorb their energies, and then you recognize that some of this stuff don't belong to you, and you have to give it back. And one of the ways you can give it back is by concentrating on your own vibrations. Like you said, it's the year of self. Like, you have to start focusing on what makes you, what makes you thrive, what makes you live. And if it doesn't help you thrive, and if it doesn't help you live, you let that go.
Right.
You have to let it go, just like the breeze through your hands. You just gotta let it go, because you sitting there holding on to all that, it doesn't help. And for me, I was just like I said, after I finished this book, I started to realize that I've been sitting on a whole lot of gold. And it's only because I've been allowing other people to tell me, oh, don't worry about that right now, let's do this. Let's try to do this. Let's do this $1 million scheme or this $1 million scheme, and then you find out that you're penniless. And instead of focusing on what wealth you already have in yourself.
And the thing for me personally was, I would feel guilty about saying no, or I can't do this, or I don't want to do this. I would feel bad about disappointing somebody else, so I would always do it. I would go along with the flow because I didn't want somebody to be bothered by me not going along with it. And that is something that I let go of last year.
Yes. That took me a while to get to, too, because at the end of the day, guess what? They're not bothered by you. You know what I'm saying?
They're not like, oh, well, I don't want you to feel guilty, so go ahead. They're like, yes, do that.
Right.
But part of this year is me getting to a place where I'm not even focused on what they could possibly be thinking.
Right. Exactly.
Like, you can't even put yourself in there, because the same way I'm getting to this resolve, they could be getting to a resolve in their life. And I don't like to play the fence, but I understand I ain't the only one going through. I ain't the only one, rebuilding my mindset or my just the goals. I'm not the only one that's doing that. And part of it is so let me get to this real quick, because it was very cathartic. I could never say that word. Cathartic. Yeah. To get it out and to do it, because I had a lot of people calling me and I didn't want to answer the phone. I had people who wanted a piece of me and I didn't want to give them a piece of me. Relationship issues, dating, friends, family, and everything was happening at one time, and I felt like I don't want to be a victim. I don't want to feel like the world is against me. I don't want to get to a place where it's about me and because I told a friend last year, the end of last year, I'm about to be a bitch. Is that key, that switch is about to be turned on, and I don't care, because I just don't care.
And you have to be you have to be that. And I learned that you have to be that, and it's not necessarily a mean thing, and the narcissist will take it as being mean toward them, but it's about getting done what I need done without regards to anything else. I can't focus on nothing else.
And I heard what I said, and this message, it kind of turned it back. So the bitch that you see in me is me really choosing me, and it's going to look like that to you. I acknowledge that. That's not who I'm trying to be in this moment. That's not who I'm being. but I am being about myself. And so this is the message. So it came from a friend who I said I'm about to be a bitch. Sent me this meme, and it said it's all connected. Your gifts, your circumstances, your purpose, your imperfections, your journey, your destiny. It's molding you. Embrace it. And because I try to fight, not so much that I care what people say, but it really matters to me about my relationships. I don't care what you think about me, but my relationship with individuals mean a lot to me. You know, me and my sister went through some issues, and it wasn't so much I cared what she thought. It was more so I didn't want to throw away my friendship with my sister. So what she feels in our relationship is important to me. It's not going to change who I am or what I'm doing in my life, but I needed clarity. So on the 31st, and I marked this as one of those life events on Facebook, because every 31st of December, I want to get this message. So I make sure I'm not going into a new year with the same anything.
Yeah. So
it says, this is not an evite to a fabulous pity party or to put anyone on blast. It is, however, a notice of resignation to any relationship that is not in line with my heart, my mind, my spirit, and my goals. I was born to be a man for others. I'm a helper. I contribute that to my mother, my grandmother, and my great-grandmother who raised me to be a helper. It was just in their nature, and it just was passed on to me just by sheer, we lived in the same house. I will never change that about myself. What will change is the business of who I am, what I do, and what I do. I'm an emerging, trained, and self-taught hybrid artist and entrepreneur who has sat on my talents and gifts for far too long. I will no longer call my destiny by your dream's name.
Ooh.
I have a passion for seeing and helping others succeed, but I will no longer eliminate or ignore my talents, gifts, and desires to pacify your insecurities, your laziness, your self-hate, your lack of respect for someone's time,
Wait a minute, this is
and
a
talents.
word.
I do not feel above or better than anyone. What I do feel is suffocated by my own selflessness.
Is today Saturday or Sunday?
In 2018 and beyond, Nate Couser, a.k.a. Nathan Steven Couser, that's my real name.
Government.
The Artist Exchange LLC, the Artist Exchange radio show, VashtiBlue Designs, and VashtiBlue Jewelry, and anything that I have legally put my name on, idea-wise, business-wise, whatever, will only work with a contract that has been mutually agreed on. If you want better, you have to demand better, not just from others, but from yourself.
Yes.
It would be easy for me to blame the world, business partners, friends, family for my unprepared decisions that prompted this change, but I will decline the urge to do so. I close by saying I declare today, December 29th, that day, because it was like at midnight, almost midnight, get your business in order day. You are welcome to join me. Today is the day I pause to forgive myself for ignoring who I am. On this day, I will cut out any excuses and eliminate all dead weight. On this day, I will let go of any people, places, things, or ideas that don't add to my value or joy. Be blessed, and I wish you a phenomenal year. Sincerely, Nate. So on that note, we're going to take it to a commercial break again. We got to pay some bills, and we'll be right back with the phenomenal Paperless Poetry.
Ooh.
Even as a comedian, if I say a joke and it just might not fit your cup of tea.
Yeah, this the man that holds it down. Mr. Showtime, D the Boss. Check us out every Saturday, 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
I'm in a relationship. My girl happens to be long distance. So with that being said,
I beat my thing like it owes me money.
Sorry.
Because I asked that because so many people are not comfortable.
Here's my thing. It's mine.
That's right.
And you need to know yourself before you can have somebody please. If you can't tell nobody how to please you, if you don't know how to please yourself.
That's right.
You know
So-
what you like. You know what you like. You know the stroke, all that. So you're right, and I mean you shouldn't be ashamed of it. It's your body. Yeah, I'm over here struggling with the ear.
Yeah, I'm glad it's you today.
see
I'm
it.
glad it's you
Yeah.
today, brother.
Oh, this thing gonna drop. It's gonna drop about at least like 5 times.
I'm over there struggling.
So ED, do you have
Yes.
a problem with masturbating?
No, I don't. I don't masturbate often because I have a fear of going blind. So, yes, when
Going
I found yes,
You could go blind from
yes, I read about it. Is that true?
No,
it's not true.
It's not.
Because
Okay,
I was going to say I should have been blind a long time ago.
Let me drop some knowledge on you, real quick.
I was just playing.
But
Hey, what's up, good people? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger. Make sure you check us out every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Check out this flashback from Talk Lately with Money only on BeExposedRadio.com.
Thank you for tuning in to
You are listening to
BeExposedRadio.com. Sit
BeExposedRadio.com.
back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Right.
You know.
So we're back on air. And just giving a shout out to the people that are listening. Sorry, my thing kind of goes slow. Zakiya Washington says they are not considering you the same way. No is a part of life. Yeah. Yes, it is.
Yes,
Learn
thank
how
you for
to use
tuning
it.
in, Zakiya.
Sharia Walker says, no is not a bad word. Oh, people learning to use no.
And Cherie, that's my best friend. Thank you for listening.
It's actually healthy to say no. She's Cherie, that's her name?
Yes.
Cherie continued to say. The kid also said, you can't be victorious and a victim at the same time.
Now, that's
I'll
a
add
word.
that.
Right.
You have to pick a position.
Choose a struggle. Choose a struggle.
And we're going to have to bring James Harrison, you coming on the show.
Yes, come on.
He says we need to get out of our comfort zone. That's where the fear is. Once we get out of it, the fear is no longer there. Thank you, Zakiya. We've had to bring y'all individuals on. We're going to have to do a spot just for our listeners to be able to come on. So let's get to the interview portion of this process. We have Miss Grace here. She's the host of the phenomenally popular and scrumptious Poets for Dinner.
And wholesome.
She was once the host of Poets for Brunch. Maybe one day she'll come back. You know, we had paninis cooking right where you were sitting at.
We had chocolate chip pancakes.
A whole breakfast made.
Ooh.
Made out in the lobby. I mean, I'm just saying,
I miss it,
I'm
though.
just waiting for it to come back.
I ain't gonna lie. I was thinking about that this morning. I said, oh my God, I really miss Poets for Brunch. Like, I really do miss waking up and coming in here talking a whole bunch of crap and then eating a whole bunch of food. Like, I
she had to get some things in order, but we're just praying that her board makes a way and gets her back here, because I loved, for me, first of all, on Sunday around this time, waking up, seeing Poets for Dinner on, you know, doing my station manager thing, like sharing it out and talking on there and telling them get to the mic. And me rolling out of bed and come on down Charles Street and St. Paul and get me a plate right on time.
Yeah, I was about to say. So the important part is he watched at home, comfortable first, and made sure the food was done before he came. That's the important part.
And when I came to sit down, the food was like on the grill. It was hot. It was smoky in here. But that's why we took it out there, because it got too smoky in here. But I want you to come back. Sidebar. I'm just gonna put it out there like that. But Grace is now, she's a poet, host, but now she's an author. She's a published author.
Yes.
She wrote paperless poetry.
I was about to say on Amazon.
Barnes and Noble.
Yes. She's on all digital format.
I'm about to be in Red Emma's.
Okay.
Yes.
I'm trying to tell you, I'm trying to be everywhere. I'm about to send it to Oprah. I'm about to get on her best read list. I'm trying to tell you, I'm doing it.
Well, you gotta send it, because Oprah not getting it right now. You gotta send it to Gail.
Oh yes,
Send it to Gail first.
yes.
Send it to Gail. You know, Sweetie Pie.
Oh, what's his name? Harry. What's his name? Harry something.
Cool.
He's on Channel 2 now. He got a whole show. He calls it the Escape from Reality show. I don't know. I'm gonna look up his whole name, but it's Harry something.
It gotta be a friend. It gotta be a friend. You gotta send it to Stepman.
Yeah.
People like that. You gotta send it to somebody that can touch her.
Yeah.
And then they read it and be like, look, because I think that's where she gets a lot of her inspiration from.
No, I'm gonna send it to Tyler. He can make it play out.
His own BS. Right? He is in his selfish phase right now.
Ain't nothing wrong with it though, cause he growing. So
but
as long as you
wrote
growing.
this book of poetry
and recipes.
Okay, I didn't see that in it.
Yes, there's recipes, and this one is only a couple.
Oh, I forgot chef. I forgot to put that on.
Yeah, I was gonna say make sure you put that up on there too.
Yes,
but and this book is only a couple because I wanted to like test it out of how I can get my personal recipes down because I'm a soul food cooker, so all my recipes are in my head. It's hard for me to write them because I'm like,
I already got a TV show.
Like people be like, add a cup of flour and all that stuff. I'm like, no, add a dash, you know. So I'm trying to. What's the word I'm looking for?
And it's crazy.
Measure.
Okay, get your measurements right.
Yeah,
you basically created Poets for Brunch.
Pretty much, yeah.
In a book.
Pretty much, yeah.
So you have something to now build off of.
Yes. And the recipes that are in there too are
so
also
the
vegan
proceeds
friendly.
of this book are going to
Poets for Dinner.
Poets for Dinner.
Yeah.
By way of Poets for Brunch.
I love how he really kicked it in there, right?
See, Monty, I work. Even when I'm working.
But yeah, it really does. Like, people think it's a joke. When I tell y'all my money goes to Poets for Dinner, it goes to Poets for Dinner. In fact, all the online what's it called? Online residuals go directly into Poets for Dinner account. So that way I can afford to continue to feed people for free. Because Poets for Dinner to me is very, very important, and I even talk about it in the book too. And the reason why it's important is because it eliminates egos, it eliminates the facades people put on, and we bring everyone together. No matter how much you get paid, no matter where you from, no matter what your background is, you can come together and be human together and eat together and like really be in the moment, you know, and express yourself, you know. And the food just so happens to be good and just so happens to be for everybody. You know,
people keep sleeping on it, and then they'll come like, "Oh my God!" One of my friends, my friend Riga, she came to the last one.
Ooh.
She was up here. She the one who got up there and did the comedy set.
Yes, I loved her. Oh my gosh, I love her.
She came up here from New Orleans for that was Thanksgiving.
Right.
And she was up here that week, and she had been watching it on my live, and she normally talks to me while I'm on my way there, and then she'll watch the live, and to finally be there, she saw what it was. So for me to keep coming back, since you got here, I've been coming, I've been faithful.
Yes.
And
you've been bringing people.
You have to, because I can't keep that to myself, and that's what happened in Baltimore. We keep things to ourselves because I want my own little. Well, that's why things don't last. First 2 years here because you keep it such a secret that nobody knows.
And I like it, like when you bring, for instance, the actors and stuff that come because Poets for Dinner is really a platform from all artistry. Like, I don't care if you play spoons, tap dance, sing off beat, right? I'm trying to tell you, like, it's really for everybody. Even if you just have, like, even if you consider yourself to not be an artist and you just got something on your mind that you want to express, we literally have the platform for it.
That's when Mama Givens comes up.
Yeah, I was about to say, y'all know my mom would get up there and tell you some wild stuff. Like, last time she talked about my brother and his dream in jail, and I'm sitting there like, thank you, Mom, but okay, come on. But the thing is, the whole purpose is for freedom of expression.
She need to go live sometimes and get that off like that.
She do.
I think she waits all month.
She do, and then it just all comes out at once.
So we're going to take another quick break. Don't forget to follow us, www.beexposedradio.com, and you can check out all of our awesome shows here on the award-winning Be Exposed radio station. Also, you can follow the Artist Exchange at theartistexchange.org, and it'll be launching the end of this month, and you'll be able to find all of our calendar of events, upcoming artists like Miss Grace. We'll have a section in there where artists like Grace could sell her book through our platform, and all those things. So much more. So we'll be right back after this quick commercial break. Don't go anywhere.
Ooh.
I know the weight is killing you. Suspense is building. All this stuff.
It is what it is. Radio show.
Go ahead. All right, listen. All right, say. Situation.
Just a bit outside. Radio show.
There is one glaring stat that I read about while watching the games over the weekend. New York Yankees went 22 straight innings with at least one strikeout.
Really?
That's a major league record for the postseason.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's an interesting statistic.
It is, you know, and then when you think about it, it's like, okay, you know, that, to me, that's like a big reason why, you know, they're losing right now.
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
And you have to do some self-care.
Right.
Because you begin to break yourself down worrying about how people will be or how people are treating you, and you see them damaging your life, but something in you just wants to be patient with them. But you have to learn how to let people go. Everybody is not meant to be there for a lifetime.
Right.
And you have to learn your lesson and move on sometimes.
Some people are there just for a season, you know. And it's like you have people in your life that are...
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Welcome back to the Artist Exchange Radio Show. I'm your host, Nate. We got SweetBaBy in the room.
Hey, happy Saturday.
Like I said, HullyWood isn't here today. He's having a family emergency, but
I miss
we'll
him, though.
update him. I know everybody misses. He's the nice guy on the show.
I love his hugs. I like hugs in general, but his hugs is kind of like my hugs, like the male version of my hug. You know, he lifts you up like. It's so wholesome. I'm sorry.
Let me find out. Giving people our hugs. So we'll be back. We're not going anywhere. So we're back with Grace Given. She wrote Paperless Poetry. Where did the title come from? Because it's on paper, though.
Right now it's on paper. Now it's on paper. Initially, most of these poems were literally written on pants legs, on walls, on.
You was that bad child.
I really was. That's why at the age of 13, my mom was like, "You gotta buy your own clothes because you ain't gonna keep writing up on my stuff." So I even started making my own clothes just because I wanted to be able to write on something or anything. Because a lot of times when the thought comes, you don't have pen and paper. You might have a pen, you might have a marker or
we now
something.
have phones with voice recorders.
Yes, now we do. But
save those to your Google Cloud or your Google. Because you might break your phone and then all those are gone.
Don't tell me. Don't remind me. I've lost a whole lot of poems like that. But like literally, I would write on the back of bus passes and all that. Like it really was me not having paper and writing. No.
Buy a good notebook for $1.
Listen. I would have the notebook. Right, but when the door is there, I don't have time to reach in my bag and get it, so I'll write on the bag. Like, I don't know, my mind is very complex. Like,
I get you.
Even when I'm, without giving out too much information, but even when you're in the bathroom or whatever, I write on the toilet paper, write on paper towels. Like,
my lord,
I even wrote a poem called
So that's what women do in the bathroom. That's where the toilet paper goes. They're not coming to my house.
One of the poems I wrote is called Toiletries, right? And like it's kind of like a play on word on poetry, but like it ended up being really, really political, and I was talking about toilet paper the entire time. Like that's just kind of how my mind works. Everything isn't what it appears to be. Like I wrote a poem on a pencil itself. Like
good job, like that.
yeah. So like that's paperless poetry, you know.
Let's go get it in some paper. Let's go get her some paper.
No, it's a digital area. Now I can just type everything out.
Amen.
You know,
Amen.
That makes it even easier to put a book together because it's already typed.
My phone came with the capability of it turns your words into words. Like you said.
And it types it for you? Now see.
I'm not even know what my handwriting look like.
I think that would work if my pronunciation was better. I really need to go back to speech classes because my tongue has gotten lazy over the years.
You have to practice. Start with the easiest way is with marbles. That's an ancient, prehistoric way of doing it. But marbles help. So you just put marbles in your mouth, and as you get more and more in your mouth, it becomes more and more difficult to actually get the word out. But the more you put in your mouth, it creates a boundary. Now, don't swallow the marbles. I had a student.
Oh my gosh, no.
That's the first thing that was in my mind. Like, what if you swallow them?
I can use the big ones, right?
Yeah, use the big ones. And you could.
What if can I use marshmallows?
You could use marshmallows.
Because marshmallows.
But then you gonna wind up eating them.
I was about to say they seem like they would taste better.
Yeah, but you can do. Well, it's just the hardness of it, because marshmallows will conform to your mouth.
Oh, true.
So it doesn't really. But you can use like the really big one. That probably would help, and just keep putting a bunch of the big ones in your mouth. But articulation exercises. So even as a performance artist, most performance artists don't get into the habit of doing that every time they perform, or just when you're at home practicing. Still warm up with your articulation exercises, not just with vocalization, but articulation specifically.
Yes,
because you have to learn how to be heard. It's not about talking better; it's just being able to be heard,
honey,
and understood.
Honey, you are really preaching. Like, I need all of that, okay? Because, like, for instance, even when I say poets for dinner, right? I always have to repeat it because I don't say it right the first time. So people like, what? Poet? What? So, like, I really need help with articulation. So, yeah, articulation.
Well,
exercises would be great.
That could be our bartering tool. You know, you never know. You never know. You know, like do classes and such. Or just take an acting class. Like that. It takes you outside of your comfort zone because it's not what you intend to be. But it gives you life applicable lessons. Like in college, most athletes are forced to, like football players, have to take a dance class. It teaches them agility.
Yeah,
and balance with them, right? And balance. So it teaches them nothing. They're not there because they're going to be the next best dancer. Who knows? But it gives their body flexibility. So you know, take some things that take you outside of your class. I took a musical theater improv class. Thank you, Christian Harris. And I'm sitting there like, what the hell are we doing? It's already, you know, white people love their comedy, they love their improv, they love their musical theater. But them together, these people were crazy. Creatively crazy, I'll say that. But it got me because improv to me is about being quick on your feet. And I'm quick on my feet, but with purpose.
Right.
And then we had to sing everything. And I had to sing, but that's not my forefront. That's not what I like to do.
Right.
But it just took me outside of my comfort zone with a bunch of people that I didn't know, thanks to Christian Harris. She just randomly, it was snowing outside. Let's go to this. But you got to get out into your city also. But in terms of what we'll read in this book, what is, what do you want to take from this? I won't get to when is chapter 2 coming out or when part 2 coming out, but
I honestly have dates and all that stuff for all that. I'm working. I've been off of my actual job for a month and a half now, and I've been seizing this opportunity instead of being stagnant to work on stuff that I personally never put myself first in. And I have novels and stuff that I've been working on for years that are actually done but never been ready for print because I was busy doing other stuff.
Right.
So I'm actually there. But from this book,
take the time.
Exactly. From this book, I really want people to just view life differently. Because, like I said, a lot of things we just see it as it is instead of what it could be, instead of the magic that it actually holds. Sometimes the pencil isn't just a pencil. Sometimes that pencil is a gateway to a whole nother world.
Magic wand.
For real. It really becomes, because okay, to you it's just something that it's just a tool to write down numbers or to write down whatever, but to somebody else it's the tool that they use to create a whole nother world, to create ideas that changes the actual world we live in.
So what changed about you once this was finished?
A lot. A lot. For example, I swear to God, I lost 10 pounds after I finished writing. I swear, because it was this huge.
The new diet? We just
reach goals easily. Get there, and then the weight just come off.
It does though. People don't understand. It really do. Once you actually accomplish something that you said for yourself that you're going to do, and you allowed yourself to talk yourself down and say, "Oh no,
now
I'm
that
not going to
finish." You
finish.
can't just eat through the writing process, because that's how the 10 pounds really come off. You gotta like fast a little bit.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Like instead of eating, a whole box of donuts, write a couple pages.
And then have the donuts.
And then have the donuts to celebrate. But like for real, it was really like relieving because I was like, oh my gosh, I finally did it. Wait,
how long
I
did
could
this
do
one
it.
right here take in terms of getting everything, the material content into the book and ready to go?
Well, honestly speaking, the material took, I want to say, over a year to actually put together. But the actual publishing process took me, I want to say, 3 months because I took a Publish Yourself workshop with Melanie Hill like a couple months ago. And then I was like, dang, that's all I had to do for real? And she was like, yeah, girl, it's not even that hard. You've been really overthinking it. And I'm like, oh my gosh.
The hardest part, I believe, is just copywriting and everything.
Yeah.
That's the hardest part because most people like albums, they do it in a group.
Right.
But you want to do things separately because if I want to make a change to something, I have to change. Then that's a whole nother book that I have to then create. Yeah. So you want to get each thing done because then you can go in and edit that poem if you want to. Right. But then
the beautiful thing is though, by us living in a digital age, it doesn't take as long to copyright as it used to. Yeah. And that was one of the things that held me up too, is
you
because
had to go to DC. And,
right. Yeah. And then I always thought I was too young to do stuff, and I always thought I needed someone else's guidance, honey. Honey, I'm on my Beyonce. I'm a grown. I'm trying to tell you, I can't sing. I can't sing. I ain't even gonna do that to y'all. But
right song.
But like for real, that's what it boiled down to, is coming out of my own self and out of my own excuses and recognizing that I could do it. And once I saw that I could do it, when I tell you there's nothing stopping me, I got a children's book that's gonna come out in February. By April, I'll have Paperless Poetry Volume 2. By July, I'm gonna have an actual urban novel that I've been working on since I was like 13. And I'm really excited about that. I think I'm more excited about that than I am about my poetry. But yeah, like once you get your foot wet, you might as well swim.
Right.
You know.
So what was the hardest part about this, like choosing what to put in there?
The hardest part was overcoming what people might think. For me, that was hard because in
terms of whether they like it or not, or
no, not necessarily in terms of whether they like it, but how they were going to respond to it. Because a lot of the poems in here are personal poems that I wrote about people that and how I felt about them and how they acted. Like I have poems dedicated to different artists in the poetry scene in there. I have poems dedicated to friends and family, like people that I'll see on a regular basis.
They dedicated, or they just about them?
Both.
Okay.
Both. Okay. You know, like
there's a difference.
Yeah, it is. But like,
am I bashing you?
And see, that's the thing. That's what I was concerned about, whether people would take it as me bashing them or me making a comment on how they made me feel. Right. You know, like for instance, in there I have a poem about Love the Poet. Now, the reason why I'm gonna go ahead and mention this poem, yes, I am. The reason why I can mention it is because I already sent her this poem when I originally wrote it.
Are we gonna read that? Can we read that in the next segment?
Oh, we sure enough can. And it was just addressing how I admired the transition I seen her do. She went through what we want to call our selfish phase, and she grew in her selfish phase. And I admired the fact that not only did she grow in her selfish phase, she also led room for other people to grow too. Because a lot of people take that distance as, oh my gosh, you don't mess with me, you don't fuck with me, and nothing like that. But a lot of times that distance is allow you room to grow too. Right. And in that poem, I acknowledged that, and I acknowledged how I initially perceived it, and how at the end of it, I received it as a growth lesson.
What was her response?
Her response was, shoot, I don't even remember. She sent me an email though, but it was like along the lines, she was happy for the poem. She was happy that I recognized the growth and I recognized who she is versus who people perceive her as.
What life events did you, not necessarily which life events did you choose, but how did you go about saying, okay, I want to put this life event in here versus something else that may have been a little bit more personal or not?
Well, my process for that was a very complicated one because most of the poems in here are actual life events that happened. Like I have a poem in here about when my brother was in the hospital and they told me he was going to die, and I was like, how can he die? I mean, I understand attacks are very serious, but how can you tell me he's going to die when I seen him have plenty of asthma attacks? This boy then fell from the top of a tree, broke 3 pieces of his back, and got up and walked like ain't nothing happened, to the point where they had to sedate him in order to do surgery on him because he was acting like weren't nothing wrong. So I'm like, my brother's Superman. You ain't going to tell me he about to die over no asthma attack. And like, I included that versus a poem about my other brother being incarcerated because I feel like it's a progression thing. Eventually, those poems are going to get included, but for me, it's a progression.
Chapter 2.
Exactly. You know, you kind of got to give people a taste.
Poetry.
Right.
Now I have paper.
Yes, now I have paper. That's gonna be the subtitle.
So,
or what paper can do.
in building yourself as a brand in terms of all that you do, which part of you do you tap into the most? Like, which part of you, is it the writing, is it the hosting, is it the cooking? Like, which part of you kind of steals the shine the most?
None of that. Honestly, the part of me that I feel as though steals the shine the most is just my heart. Because generally, when I say I put my heart into everything, like, I care about everything and everyone that I come in contact with, even strangers. It said, like, I still think about the man who I saw standing outside when it was freezing with a homeless sign. I'm like, I don't know if he's really homeless, but if he really is, I pray he finds shelter. Like, I still think about stuff like that. So my heart self shows up the most. That's the one I tap into the most because that's where I get the energy for everything else.
So we're going to go to a quick break. We're going to come back with a poem.
Ooh.
And then we're going to talk about that heart part. How do you, not so much turn it on and off, but how do you maneuver your life knowing that your heart is on your sleeve that way? So we're going to go to a quick break. Don't go anywhere. Don't forget to share it out. Let your friends know. Add some people to it. Bless you. Happy New Year. We'll be right back. Don't go anywhere.
Hey, what's up, everybody? It's Monty from Talk Lately. I want y'all to sit back and listen to this flashback. We be tripping. You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m. But when I smoked weed, there was a D on that. When I smoked weed, my inhibitions actually weren't wild. You know, like, I wasn't like, oh, I want to go fly on a kite or jump off this roof or something like that. No, it was quite the opposite. I was very laid back. I actually wanted to eat all the time. Gosh, and I never would get full. And I got sleepy. So I never wanted to go out and do something wrong, like break windows, drive under the influence. Definitely not drive under the influence. Because I wanted to go to sleep like very badly. Like, high sleep is the best sleep ever. Gosh. Irresponsible child abuse. Exposed Radio.
Let me do that.
There's certain things for everybody.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
There's a time and a place for everything. Maybe if I'm sitting down reading a book and then I'm like, all right, cool, let me throw this Lupe on, get this real lyrical going on, and maybe I see a whole nother side of something. But if I'm sitting down with a bottle, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Like, you might turn on the right Lupe song, you feel me? And because I'm drunk, I'm going to get lit for it. Right. But, yeah, for the most part.
What's up, guys? It's your boy, Shepsworth Bentley. And make sure you guys check out Homegrown Radio every Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com. It's new, fresh, Baltimore radio.
Man, it is what it is. Man, it is what it is. Well, it is what it is.
This Fly T Miles, also known as Tyree Miles, and Mr. Miles the writer.
Hip Hop K, check us out every Friday on Be Exposed Radio at 9/11.
Coming to y'all soon.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
It doesn't say alleged anywhere in here.
This is the wrong song to play underneath this topic.
They're saying 4 years ago, according to a $20 million lawsuit, the plaintiff, who was also not named, met Charlie Sheen in Las Vegas on April the 1st, 2011. The sleeve suit claimed that Sheen entered into a nefarious plot designed to lure plaintiffs into a luxurious hotel room to serve his prurient desires. Sensationally, it was alleged that Sheen... Say what?
I said perverted.
No, it's prurient.
Let me see. Can I where's a point to the word? Right. Prurient.
It's hard. It makes me want to gag. Like cock. Get it? Sensationally, it was alleged Sheen told the man he had no venereal diseases. At that point, they watched the porn and engaged in mutual oral compilation, mutual self-gratification, rubbing and massaging each other, play wrestling, licking, and unprotected intercourse. So, look, my question to my three people here at my panel, are they trying to say, because that's when they said he got this disease 4 years ago, or virus, HIV, 4 years ago. Are they trying to say that he got it?
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
I've practiced my smile so much, I was almost convinced it was real. I even fathomed the happiness portrayed was something I could feel. I even tricked myself into believing that all of this kindness was something someone could believe in. I spread a light that seems to brighten everyone but self, leaving me envious of the joy received by everyone else. Outspokenly kind, internally frustrated. I find myself with an internal monster dying to be liberated. You are not welcome to come again. And dip your fingers of fake gratitude into my energy's pen. Taste what you need and leave your germs behind, crying dark thought patterns into the depths of my mind. I wonder if you knew that I've gone sleepless for you. Would you still be so eager to accept my help if you knew being kind to you sentenced my rest to hell? I worry entirely too much about things that stunt my growth. I embody the pains that you regret the most. I give until I've lost touch with self, only to be confronted by the self-centered, selfish, and ultimately greed of everyone else. And yet, I'll smile, warmly and full in the face of cluelessly inclined, thinking to myself, you have no idea what is weighing in on my mind, but it's funny how my tears have gotten in on a hoax. They costumed themselves into my makeup, sitting there opaque as ghosts, laughing at your obtuseness, and just plain disregard to the amount of concern I have for your joy weighing in on my heart. The leading cause of death is not disdainful addictions, but stress, and I've been dying for you. I volunteer my passion to be martyred by you. I'm no Jesus, but I strive to give as he did, starving myself for peace so that in peace you can live. And all I will get in return is a thank you. Well, you can keep it, because I'm going to let you in on a secret. Martyrs don't go throwing themselves under blades of sacrifice to be thanked. They do it so in your spirit there will be a monumental change. Pay it forward and pass the peace. Spread the love so that from this torment of solitude our souls can be released. Love on somebody else, just as yourself has been loved on by me, so that we as an omniverse can extend above and live free.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. She dope or whatever.
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
She be doing it.
That piece is called Martyr Suicide.
You remind me of a person that I've known for about 11 years. And you are the energy that I initially met them on, and they've become a little hardened from the process of becoming, a phenomenal artist. Both of you are, and she is. But I've watched her get hardened by the experience of being stepped on, being overlooked, being tossed and torn and grabbed and pushed in this process, being a woman of color, being an artist, woman of color, and we at the last segment was talking about wearing your heart on your sleeve. In everything that you do, how do you keep that balance from that note that I just wrote? Keeping that balance of being able to fulfill the things that you need to fulfill, while still being a woman for others, or
learning my limits.
Mm-hmm.
I had to learn my limits
and what's your
because,
limit?
like you said, you can't pour from an empty cup. I would like to say that I'm Wonder Woman. I can do everything for everybody, but I had to learn the hard way. You can't. And even if you have the best,
no more putting rent money up for stuff.
Right.
I can't negotiate rent money no more.
Right. Like I literally had to train myself to think like that, because at one point in time my lights was off and I still served Pose for dinner. One point in time I had an eviction notice and I still served Pose for dinner. And guess what? Pose for dinner didn't serve me back. And
while you had the eviction notice.
While I had the eviction notice,
Amen.
while I had my lights
Amen.
off, while I'm sitting there struggling with my relationships and stuff, because I'm putting more energy into trying to push the movement of love on somebody. And people were like, well, Grace, you said you love on somebody, so why can't you help me? And it's not necessarily that I want people to help me or I need people to do anything for me.
Right.
But I had to realize that matter of fact, there's a lot of people who won't do stuff for you. And you have to be okay regardless. They choose to. And you have to be okay regardless, and you have to realize that at the end of the day, you are a source of your own strength.
Yep.
And even though you're walking around with your heart on your sleeve, a lot of people will see it and stomp on it. And you have to find a way to cope with that. And my way of coping with that is learning how to say no, going back, and sometimes, like you said, not answering the phones, not being so easily accessible and available, because energy is very transferable. Like, I don't care. You can walk into a room happy as the sun in the sky shining in the middle of June.
Okay, shining star.
Okay. But then someone will walk in feeling all depressed or whatever,
suck it
and
right out.
Suck it right out of you. And they'll attack you because you want to be happy.
And I remember at one of the Poets for Dinner, there's a young lady that I see just randomly. I think she lives in my neighborhood. And she did a poem one time about just being hungry and not having any money to get there, but she finds a way to get there. And that meal was just like, once a month, I got that meal. And being in that space of hearing her and then seeing her in real life, it was like, what if she meant those words? Like, what if that was her real life?
That is, though. Because like I said, all jokes aside, people think I'm playing, but I'm dead serious. I will show you the receipts. I've literally donated blood so I can be able to afford to feed people. I've literally giving up stuff that was personal to me just so I can be able to afford to create that platform. Only because I have been in that position where I've literally went into an open mic and could not afford to get in or eat. So I had to make a decision. I'm like, no, I have to feed my art, so I'm going to be hungry today. And I don't think that's a choice that we should have to make as artists, period. Especially when there's enough wealth to go around that we could share. Like, okay, you may have a piece of bread, and I may have a piece of meat, and you may have a piece of cheese. We can come together and make a sandwich and cut it 3 ways, and we all eat. You know, versus everything has to be, oh, no, this is mine, only mine.
And you trying to get what they have.
Yes.
And that's what I admire about your passion and your love, because it takes a lot. She used to come here every Saturday morning with all this bubbliness and all of this sugar and spice, and it's like, girl, where the hell are you coming from? Like, what is? I went to church. I just came from church, and I still don't have that bubbliness. But we're gonna take another quick break. We have like 3 more segments to go, so stay tuned. Call in, let us know how you feel. Ask Miss Paperless Poetry, Miss Grace Precious Love Givens the questions that you need to be questioned. I'm about to go warm my food up. That's what I'm about to do. She about to eat. So we'll come back.
Ooh.
Be Exposed Radio.
Let me do that.
There's certain things for everybody.
Yeah, like,
you know what I mean?
There's a time and a place for everything. Maybe if I'm sitting down reading a book and then I'm like, all right, cool, let me throw this Lupe on, get this real lyrical going on, and maybe I see a whole nother side of something. But if I'm sitting down with a bottle, I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear it. Like, you might turn on the right Lupe song, you feel me? And because I'm drunk, I'm going to get lit for it. But yeah, for the most part.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Shepsworth Bentley, and make sure you guys check out Homegrown Radio every Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com. It's new, fresh, Baltimore radio.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
How did you know that this is what you wanted to do as far as being a singer or entertainer?
It's always been in me. It's always been a part of who I am since a child. Since a child, I've always gotten karaoke boxes, and I've always learned this song and solos in school and all of those things. And I met my Reflections actually in high school, and we were singing and we were singing back then, choral music.
Douglas High School.
Yes, quack, come on through here. So
2 G's in a day pass.
Okay, 2 G's in a bus pass, baby.
It used to be, of course.
It was destined. I feel like it was destined. My whole family sings. Everyone in my circle sings. It's like I just couldn't get away from it. I'm always gonna sing.
Where did your personality come from? Are you always this crazy?
Yes.
Yes. Crazy.
Right. I woke up like this.
Okay.
And went to sleep like it too.
Literally.
The Artist Exchange Radio Show every Friday, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Every Saturday, 12 p.m. to 2 p.m. Real artist, real talk, real live on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Be Exposed Radio.
And more money, let them know like you're gonna get a hit if you do some rap stuff. You know what I mean?
Right. Now, appropriation, like they be getting the money. I was just about to talk about that too. Appropriation. Is it appropriation when they do? Because Miley Cyrus. Like, think about it. You got like Miley Cyrus. You had Justin Bieber, and you had like even Katy Perry and Pink. You remember? I don't know if y'all remember Pink. She used to do like some hip hop stars, some like R&B stuff too. Do you think that's appropriation? Are they taking from the culture without like?
I don't know. Like
without giving.
The way I look at it is, if it seems forced, then 9 times out of 10 it's not really them. Yeah. So then it's appropriation. You feel me? But if I hear sincerity and the genuineness in what you're doing, and if they decide to label it hip hop, and your skin ain't the typical hip hop skin, you feel me? I can accept that it's hip hop, like, cause hip hop is what we do. Like, you feel me? Like people don't look at it like that, but it is. Like, and Busy B himself told me that. You feel me? Like, rap is a thing that we do. You feel me? And hip hop is something that we live.
Right.
So if you telling me your truth, but your skin and my skin on opposite sides of the barrier, who am I to say that that's not hip hop?
That's true. That's true. Now, and we got a newer person, and I don't know if y'all know about this, but we got a new person that's kind of like on that culture too. Well, she's not really new. Fergie. Y'all remember Fergie
from Black Eyed Peas?
Yeah, yo, I heard she got a new album out, and I was unfortunately I was listening to this with a friend, a female friend of mine, a few weeks ago, and I'm not gonna lie, bro, it's actually pretty good. And I was real surprised, yo. It's like pop.
What's up, guys? It's your boy Shepsworth Bentley, and make sure you guys check out Homegrown Radio every Sunday, 7 to 8 p.m. right here on BeExposedRadio.com. It's new, fresh Baltimore radio.
Check out what you missed on Be Exposed Radio.
I don't like stuff in my mouth. It's after what you was talking about.
It's in this commercial closing.
No, seriously, I don't. I'm a germaphobe. Everything on your body is dirty.
Everything.
So I'm damn sure I ain't gonna put it in my mouth. That's probably why I'm single. Thank you.
Is there a lies button?
Somebody slapped me on my face with one before. I had to get up and go wash my face. I was done. I said, how dare you? You filthy ass animal. Get the hell out of my house. What's going on this weekend? Nothing? It's too cold? He's dead.
Let's go to the telephone. Hello?
Oh.
Check out this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show on BeExposedRadio.com.
Joining us right now is Mr. Antonio Long. He was one of our first See Baltimore artists. That tour is actually under construction, and we're doing some revamping and making sure the foundation is solid.
Yes.
So we haven't forgotten about it. So December we kind of took a pause, and we'll be back up and running in January. My mind is Gone. Food. I need food. If you're in the downtown Baltimore area and you have a cheeseburger in your hand, definitely stop past the studio. Give me a call and let me know where you are, and I'll meet you wherever you are. But Antonio Long is joining us in the building. He's a singer, inspirational, not necessarily gospel, not necessarily R&B, but encompassed of both of them. Yeah. So let us know a little bit about who you are, what you do. Singer.
Writer, recording artist. And I just like to make good music.
There we go.
From Baltimore.
So possibly we'll hear a little bit of it live if he's not afraid, because we throw people under the bus.
Yeah.
Talent-wise.
No doubt.
On this show. We got to see if you got the chops to sink or swim.
Okay.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
Vashti.
I can say Vashti. VashtiBlue Blues. This is for you, the man of many hues, the man whose heart is gold and stories yet to unfold. This is for you, a man who walks in his truth, with a presence that heals and a love that even when refuted, one can always feel. This is for you, a man that empowers dreams with the dreamers themselves have yet to see it in clear view. This is my thank you for being a better friend than even this Hug Life General has ever been used to. That's the poem I wrote for Nate because he's freaking great. Like, I want to take my Kanye moment and be like, I'm gonna let you finish, but let me tell y'all about this man real quick, right?
I tried, you know.
He literally went from stranger to friend, and
because I think y'all just came on the show.
Yeah,
y'all just guests on the show, right?
Yep, that's how you invited us in as guests on the show, and then like we kind of developed this bond that I'm so grateful of. You know, over food. He tries to take my wife every now and again, and that's okay because she has good qualities. You know, I understand.
She been tripping lately now that they physically married. Like,
honey, who you telling?
I'm not full of craziness.
I don't know. I think you turned into crazy. Like, I don't know. I love her.
That's why I said she be acting funny now.
You
like
know.
She want to only come on the weekends. Like,
right. But like seriously, because it's one thing to tell somebody that you believe in them. And it's another thing to not only continue to push that person and introduce them to other people who also help them grow even further. Like, I met Melanie through you.
Right.
I met Tier through you.
Booker.
Yes, I met her through you. Like, these are people that, now I'm not going to say that I've taken advantage of in the entire relationship or whatever, but
I mean, success has no time period to it, no time expiration until you expire.
Right.
That's when it ends.
And I appreciate that though, because like a lot of people say, "Oh yeah, Grace, I believe in you and I support you," and you like, "Okay, I need help," and they be like, "Well, well," and I say I need help, and you was like, "Well, Grace, how about this? How about this? And if that don't work, how about this?" Even for instance, with the whole entire pushing for Poets for Brunch.
I enjoy it. This is what it was. We're sitting here eating meatloaf and roasted potatoes, fried potatoes. And Mexican, well, she make the Mexican fruit bread. That was courtesy of Miss Salacious Life.
Ooh.
But yeah, you have to. The reason you do what you do is because of what you've experienced. The reason I am who I am is because of what I've experienced. I've always received so many. I wouldn't necessarily say breaks, but opportunities. You know, and from elementary school, I was the person who people always looked out for because my mother was right downstairs. She was a teacher in the same elementary school I went to. So it was really hard.
So you couldn't get away with nothing.
Right. Oh my God. She started out as a substitute. I'm not going to say she substituted my class a couple times, and I just get another
That sounds like my mother. Oh my God, this sounds like my mother. My brother used to hate it. Because that's how she started out. She started out as his aide, and then they made her a classroom aide. And you know,
that's what I said. My mother was all this stuff that's going on with Baltimore City schools. I'm foreign to it because my mother started out as a parent. They had at schools they had liaison, parent teacher liaison. Well, my mother became that person. She worked with the person who already had that job and wound up super exceeding her. And that lady was like, "Well, you ain't gonna take my job. I'm going to put you in the classroom." And because of my mother's college education, she was able to not just be a stay-at-home mom, but now I have a career. So they started out as a substitute, then she became a full-blown teacher. It was me and my best friend. His mother became the lunch lady, and my mother was the teacher, and we hated it. Field trips, who mothers got to come? Our mothers,
of course.
You know who came and substituted the class.
But that's what though.
I still remember that day she substituted the class. I was so
We
mad.
need that. We need that. Like you said, it's foreign to me. For instance, for parents to sit there like, "Oh, I didn't know my child's school didn't have heat." How could you not know?
So that means you never stepped foot inside of it.
Exactly. Like, yeah, but that's a whole nother subject for a whole nother
I'll
time.
say the reason I am is because I've always got those advantages. I always got treated special. Because they were looking out for my mom. They loved me. Everybody knew my uncles and aunts. So I always got that preferential treatment. A group that I was in elementary school got me to the lottery system that we now call the private schools. Charter school system, and I was able to go to that school that got me a different type of education. But so I was always afforded these opportunities.
Even with those opportunities, you have the heart and the mind to take advantage of those opportunities. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't even like the word taking advantage. I don't like the word taking advantage. But what I'm saying is like you seize those opportunities.
Yep. And I've learned how to. You have to give that to people. Plant seeds. Several seeds were planted in me. Now, a lot of people didn't tend to the weeds and didn't, cultivate it as they should have after planting those seeds in me. But I got over that, and I'm getting over that. And I've learned how to, especially with young people, I go hard for young people because it's so easy to lose a young person because they don't have the support. People in general, specifically children, need to be touched. They need to be told how much they are cared about. They need that applause. Like, that is a necessity. And we're raising our children to be these self-sufficient, hard creatures that don't need nobody for anything. You need that job to be able to pay those bills.
Okay.
You need friends to be able to spend nice quality holidays. We can't be these bubbled individuals.
Or machines.
And we're raising our children to be machines. And what happens with a machine? It still needs maintenance.
Okay.
Leslie Griffin says, kudos to the parents who are actively involved in their children's education.
Hey, Leslie, that's my friend.
And who branched out. My mother was blessed with a lot of, I have a lot of other mothers.
Right.
Yes. And my mother was blessed with those individuals that helped her, as I was growing up, because my speed in life was going much faster than what my mother could handle being a single mom. Like, she couldn't handle. I was always on this side of school, on town, and she had to be on this side.
Right.
So I had a lot of extended moms. Mom 2.0. Shout out to Miss Catherine.
Shout out to Miss Brandy. Shout out to Mama Flotations. Yes.
You have those things. So I've been blessed with those things. So every time we complain about not having something, go really look back and start labeling and lining up all the people and things that helped you.
Right.
And then give that back to somebody else.
Right.
I remember my first summer camp. I was crazy. I did it all on my own. I don't know who possessed me to do a camp from 8 in the morning till 3 in the afternoon by myself, the only adult there.
Gosh.
With 25 kids from the ages of 5 to 19.
Yeah, you're crazy.
By myself.
Yeah,
only
crazy.
person I had was that 19-year-old. That was my only saving grace. And my friend Brandy, she would come after work. But I remember giving him a Bible in that camp because one day he sit down and he was asking me questions throughout, those days leading up to that. And then he asked me something real spiritual, and I gave him a Bible that was given to me. Literally, it still had the markings in it where somebody sent me a message and gave me that Bible. And I remember hearing him talk about things he wanted to do, and I kind of matched the arts up to what he wanted to do. I remember he went to Virginia Union and he majored in he took up some theater classes because he loved history. So he then became I forgot the word, he became a historian for the theater department. So he was able to minor in that. He finished Virginia Union. He's now teaching, and he sent me a message maybe like a good year and a half ago telling me he gave that Bible to somebody else. And it just took me, like, I was reading the email and it just tore me apart because I had forgot about it.
Right.
And he gave that person the same message. When you find somebody who needs this, give it to them.
Yeah.
And it was like, that's why I do all that I do. Not for any, because a lot of the stuff don't even get seen. Like, I normally give to people stuff with another account that's not attached to my own personal name or my brand's name, because I don't want anybody to do for me because I did for them.
Right.
Do for me because you want to do for me.
Right.
But you have to give people back what you've been given, and I try to do that on a daily basis because I know what it feels like to feel like you're by yourself and not have the words to ask for help, or not have the means to ask for help, or just be lost. Sometimes we got the money to do it,
I was about to say, sometimes you don't even know that you need help or what help is at that point, because like, even for instance, like you said, someone gave that to you. My mentor, Miss Brandy, Brandy Murphy, shout out, hey, like I love her. Like, you can't tell me nothing wrong about her. I don't care what you say, what you do, because first off, my very first platform for performing, she was in the audience, and I performed the poem by Maya Angelou. And then from there, she was like, Grace, you're really good at that. Perform for Baltimore City Recs and Parks at this event, and at this event, and at this event. So I've been literally performing on stages since I was like, now I work for Recs and Parks. And I've been performing, like I said, since I was like 13, you know, on actual platforms. And it wasn't just like, okay, Grace, you like that. No, Grace, you love that, so let's do this. If that's what you want to do, let's do this. And you talking about you don't have confidence. Well, let me help you build your confidence.
Right.
You know, like we even came up with a whole magazine for modeling or whatever, because we felt like we had a whole lot of insecurities that weren't really real. You know what I'm saying? And she helped us tear down all of that. Like the man I call my brother, Anthony Carrington of Iconic Images, he did my little promo video. Like,
did he do those photos too?
Yes, honey. He did the photos too, honey. I love him.
Oh, sexy and stuff.
Yes, I'm trying. Oh, I love him. Anyway, because like I literally remember being on her computer or whatever, and she coming in the office talking about what are y'all doing, and I'm sitting there typing up the words for the magazine, and he's sitting there copying and pasting and cropping on the art. Like, we didn't even have Photoshop. Right, on the paintbrush, okay? Like, he's coming. Okay, I'm trying to tell you, but we did it. And she continued to push us towards it. Like, she started buying us cameras, buying us, you know, tools to type with and all that stuff. Like, all of that is important. You don't know how far it's going to take someone to use something small. But to other people, it's something major, you know. Just
and
be supported.
every opportunity you get, like you're sharing this story and you're saying her name out loud, say thank you to those types of people.
Yes.
You know, outwardly, even if it's just a phone call or it's just, you know, sometimes I look up people who were those people in my lives in that moment. I try to find them, or, you know, Facebook has gotten awesome with that because you can find people now, but finding those individuals and just saying thank you.
You know, I think that's why I even told you, I think now it might sound cliche, but I don't care. I'm going to keep saying, like, I appreciate you. And when I say it, I mean it sincerely, from the bottom of my toes to the top of my hair follicles. Like, the whole, you know what I'm saying, with my whole being, for real. Like, when I tell people I appreciate them, but no, for listen, okay.
I want to eat your food.
Listen, my toes are clean, okay? I just got them done. but no, for real, like, eventually it might sound cliche to you, but I mean it every single time, because even the smallest details or the smallest push is major to me. Because for that small little push that you gave me, there's 100 more people telling me I couldn't do it. And there's 100 people telling me that I'm crazy for doing it.
And it goes into, that's why and they gave me my blues yesterday, and I took them. But I'm so hard on people because I don't work in a space of what you don't have or where you are. I work in a space of, what did you say you wanted? Okay, that's what you want, so let's get to that point.
Right.
You know, everything else doesn't matter, because I'm now probably some of the things that you don't have to get to where you want.
Yep.
So let's work on that, or let me find somebody that can match you to get you where you want to go, or at least push you off.
Give you direction.
Right. So we're going to take I think this is our last break for the day. We'll be right back with Miss Grace and Givings when we return to the Artist Exchange Radio Show, only on BigExposedRadio.com.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
50s, late 40s, early 50s. That's not uncommon. It's a lot of. I mean, I can give you examples like that.
But it's a good thing he's dead because she can actually move on. Like, you can't move on. If he was alive, if he was alive and she found out she was having sex with her father for 15 years, you can't move on from that. Somebody's got to die.
You can't. It's gonna be hard.
Somebody's got to die.
So wait, that means he didn't know either, though.
Immediately, so I can stop vomiting because I don't have nothing else left to vomit. All my insides, all my skeleton.
He didn't know either. That's what would be the crazy part.
He wouldn't. He still doesn't know because he's dead. How does that game go? Marry, screw, kill? How does that work when it's your dad? Oh my gosh, we talk about stuff like this and more every Tuesday at 7 p.m. on Talk Lately, the radio show. Only on BeExposedRadio.com and on YouTube live where you can see us.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com, the home of Talk Lately with Monty, every Tuesday at 7 p.m.
Be Exposed Radio.
Definitely not taking responsibility for other people's emotions and things that's going on, and owning up to who you are. I know that's what you were finishing on, so you can speak more on that, sister.
Yeah, just making sure, because at the end of the day, what happens to us, especially women, we're nurturers. So by life, you know, we tend to want to, I call men projects, like fix-me-uppers, people that come with issues. And for some reason, I mean, people, we all have issues, but people who, like, want you to help them through their issues, you know? So we take on projects because we get to the point to where we're like, okay, I just want to have somebody, as opposed to the quality of the person that you're getting. And then we start to own all of their issues, and we start to feel bad because things are not progressing the way that we want it to, you know, and that's not fair to us. So we can't own somebody else's stuff. If somebody's not ready when you meet them, that's not your fault. That's theirs. It's their loss. You see what I'm saying?
Hey, what's up? It's the man you all know and love, E. Digger, the host of the Charm City Direct Radio Show. Make sure you catch me and my crew every Saturday from 5 to 7 p.m. only on BeExposedRadio.com.
You are tuned in to BeExposedRadio.com.
So we were talking about critical thinking. So we definitely believe that critical thinking is one of the first things we need.
You are listening to BeExposedRadio.com.
And I was like, shit. So I was like, it mixed up. He was like, all right, let's just take it up. And then when he shook it up, like, I was eating it, and it was just scrumptious. it was really
That's the word.
Good.
It was scrumptious.
I don't eat oodles and noodles. I only had a couple of noodles because my friend came over for the holidays, and that's what he like, because I don't eat that shit. But I eat it now because it was really good. But you can't eat with so much of that stuff at one time. It's too much sodium, all that stuff.
Right, you passed out.
Right, you
I think we're back.
Right, but it was so good. I just shook it up. And it was a little.
We're back.
We're back. I know. I was just talking, so it was really good. But it was really delicious. It was a meal on a dime. It was literally leftover chicken from rotisserie. It was a cup of noodles, some salad mix, just a regular salad mix, whatever you have on hand.
Well, that's how I came up with the summer meatloaf, though, because I didn't have no tomato sauce, and I didn't feel like making the gravy. But I did have barbecue sauce, and I was like, you know what? This is going to work. This is going to work because, you know, during the summertime, we eat hamburgers and put barbecue sauce on it, so what's wrong with a whole meatloaf like that?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, they normally put ketchup on it.
Right.
Like, that's
I didn't even have ketchup. It was really
make
tough.
a barbecue sauce ketchup mixture.
Ooh.
Put on
a little Baltimore
yeah.
mambo sauce. Okay.
Yeah.
So, that's the Baltimore mambo sauce. But we're back. We're here. Shout out to everyone that's been tuned in.
Thank you. Y'all
so
for watching.
We're going to end this off with the magical question. What advice would you give to your 17-year-old self?
To my 17-year-old self, I would like you to know.
Oh Lord, okay, she got a list.
Because I've actually been having this conversation, right, for a while. I'd like you to know that you cannot eat the whole elephant.
Oh wow.
On one bite. If I knew that back then, I feel like my whole world would be completely different by now. I probably would have been a millionaire right now. But because I had in my mind that I had to do everything all at one time, I never got anything done.
Okay.
But once I realized that it's actually steps and you actually have to do it one day at a time, one moment at a time, 1 second at a time, and it's okay to take your time.
Right.
It's easier to complete stuff, and it's easier for me to focus a lot better.
I mean, that advice, but, and I always ask that question not to pull you back or to change anything, because if you were a millionaire at that time, you would probably been a person that would have ran into the same type of people and have lost all your money, and then now you'd be at this space right now crying.
Sure.
Because you'd have had it all, and now you don't, and now you stuck, and now you're 40 years old just getting it together. But
I ain't 40 though, y'all. I ain't 40 though, y'all.
No, but it would
I know.
that long to get back to where you are right now, to move forward, and then you be 41 just getting it.
Definitely.
together.
I don't take away from none of my experiences because even in my worst experiences, I feel like I held my own pretty well. You know, and I learned a whole lot through this life.
Right.
You know, even with the whole entire trying to do everything all at once, and like I've learned a lot. But I definitely would tell myself that only because I was rushing. You know, at 17, I was really rushing. I was thinking I was 50, and I was thinking that my world was about to be over. And
that's a lot of people preparing their children to be 50-year-olds at 19.
Exactly. And I'm like, now 10 years later, you know, I'm like, I didn't have to rush through all that. I should have enjoyed that experience more. Because, like, even when I was in college, no, I didn't finish college. But while I was at college, I wasn't at college.
Yeah,
I didn't. Right. I wasn't taking advantage of the opportunities. Like, I went to school with people who are now governors and mayors and who are on TV, who do film crews and all that stuff. And I'm like, now, what if I went back and actually take advantage of the opportunities I had to build with these people? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, one of the women I went to college with, or whatever, she's actually the camera person for Wendy Williams' show.
Oh, cool.
And I'm sitting there like, bruh, do you know what kind of...
Can you get us some tickets to go on?
That's what I'm saying. But see, that's the thing. I didn't take the time to establish that kind of...
the relationship.
Exactly. So now, even though I know her, you know she don't know who I am. Like I was just
That's
a person.
When you're supposed to walk in there, hey girl.
But
like talk to her like people talk to you. Like they ain't seen you in years, but they talk to you like they just saw you yesterday.
Honey.
But those types of things are what is important. And us making ourselves a priority, we have to, most important thing, cultivate relationships.
Yes.
That's just what I was writing down.
For real. And that was crazy because that's the conversation that TJ wrote a post about being an artist that sells work, and I commented, engagement, really talking to people, not just for the sake of, hey, buy this.
Right.
But sharing your story, because I may not have the money today, but I might got 3 friends that would have this.
That's something that's very, very important too, is recognizing support as support. Because just because they can't afford to pay for something does not mean they don't support you. Because
what did they do where they felt like I didn't have to pay because I did these things?
Exactly.
And we're looking for what can fold or what can jingle.
Exactly. And that's
you didn't realize all that person did.
Exactly.
And just showing up. Like, they're part of your mission. Even if they came there and didn't have internet because they couldn't afford it, didn't have a phone so they couldn't tell a friend, didn't have bus fare so they walked there. They took part in your meal because they needed it that day.
Yep.
And that young lady did still.
That's so important. That is so important. Because there's so many people, for instance, that I've never even met who's heard about Post for Dinner, who's heard about me, and I'm like, for real? For real? Like, people really talking about it? Like,
but that be feeding people, right?
Right. And I'm like, yeah, how did you know? You know what I'm saying? But that's important to me, not necessarily because I want to be big, but because I know it actually touched someone, and that what I'm doing is actually working. Like, my mission, that's the most important thing to me. Like, I don't care I do care if no one ever buys my book, but I really don't, because to me what's more important is that whoever reads the book, they recognize, oh my God, Grace's mission in life, she's doing.
Right.
Grace set out to heal people, help people, and love people. And guess what? People are being healed, loved, and helped by her.
And your relationships that you're cultivating with people mean more than a dollar amount. Now, overall, I want to be successful.
Yes, I was going to say,
I want to be able to...
I affirm all of that money in here.
I want and need. But right now, I focused on... And it was crazy because I was trying to get everybody on the show, and I started having all these different types of interviews with really good people, and then you don't hear from that person anymore. And then somebody calls you just out of the blue, and you're having a conversation with somebody that's asking you to come to another state or do this for you, or you're being given an award for something, or somebody asking you to be a part of their thing or help them or let them help you. And I didn't know how to accept that.
Right.
Because I was just used to people using this for what they wanted it for, that I just got tunnel vision.
Right.
And I didn't see that as help is help.
Right.
And it doesn't come in any specific shape, fashion, or form. And you got to be able to receive it when it's in your face.
Yeah.
You know, and even if you don't see the dollars, it's going to come.
Yeah.
Just do the work and prepare yourself. So you, at any moment, you could have just dropped out. You know, it's like, you know what, this not working. And you took a break.
Yeah.
But you realized, I need this more than the people coming here needed it.
Yep.
So I got to really be on my P's and Q's with this, and I've really got to put myself in a space where anything is possible. So this has been an awesome conversation. The exclusive first interview with Paperless Poetry.
Yes, the official book release party is actually next Sunday.
There we go.
January the 14th at 3 p.m.
Where's that?
It's going to be located at 1073 Ellicott Drive. You're not going to remember that. So what I tell you to do is go to postfordinner.com.
Ellicott Drive?
Yes.
That's by Route 40?
Yes.
Okay.
By Leon Day Park.
Ooh,
yeah.
Okay.
A little bit, but it's going to be a great time. It's going to be a game night, house party styled event. Okay. We're going to have food. We're going to have the Water Girl come in, and when I tell you she's awesome, the Water Girl? Yes, woo! The Water Girl is awesome. Okay, her name is Jo, but listen, it's alcoholic water. Trust me on this. You're going to want to be there. You're going to want to be there. Like, yeah, you might. If you're lightweight, you're definitely going to just want to eat because
I don't drink, so you don't want that person at your party.
No, sorry.
I'm getting real frisky, and I don't know if you got the people that I want.
You don't know, boo, but yes, that's January the 14th. That's the official book release. Paperless Poetry is available on Barnes & Noble. It's available on Amazon. Soon to be at Red Emma. So please support that. Share and all the good stuff. Also, Poets for Dinner is January 28th. That's 2 weeks. Well, 3 weeks away. And
are we trying to speed up the year?
I'm not trying to speed up the year, but I'm excited. I'm so excited for Poets for Dinner though, only because like we didn't have it in December, so I miss everybody and I miss feeding people. Like I'm backed up in hugs. Like it is back. It is possible to get backed up.
You can feed me at any time. This right here, it happens. So we're actually over time, but I'll have to say the next time you'll hear from us, we're going live on the 11th of January. We'll be at the African American Museum of History and Culture in DC. So definitely stay tuned for that. Look out for the notification. We'll go live, and then we'll be back next week with brand new shows. And TJ will be doing his artist talks next Saturday. So stay tuned. We got a lot to give you. Thank you, Miss Grace.
Yes.
Thanks for the meal. It's finished.
You. Remember to love on somebody, everybody.
Love on somebody. So, if you missed any part of the show, go to our fan page or go to the website www.beexposedradio.com. Pull it down, watch it, extract it, share it.
Yes.
Peace out.
Peace. Woo!
Thank you for tuning in to BeExposedRadio.com. Sit back, relax, and listen to this flashback of the Artist Exchange Radio Show.
What does hustle hard mean to you? What does that signify in your life?
That's a lifestyle for me. You know what I mean? Like, true story. I was born into a family and a community of hustlers. Now, let's get focused right quick, because when people hear the word hustler, they confuse it with con artist or something negative. So they like to call people entrepreneurs, right? But the definition, and I'm paraphrasing, but the definition of hustle is forced movement or to be hurried, right? But we're not talking about just pushing other people. Sometimes you got to push yourself, and that what makes you a hustler. True story. So the thing about it is, like, when it comes to hustling, listen, quick story. I used to go buy juleps a lot, right? And my grandmother used to make me clean the yard, you know, shovel snow, do things like that to go get a julep. But one day she was like, look, you putting all your money in someone else's pocket.
Word.
Save those quarters, and I can teach you how to make a formula, and you can sell your own juleps. You understand? So the next couple weeks, I saved my money.
Always a hustler.
Listen,
got to love
hey, but think
everybody
about
got
this.
a grandma story like that.
Grandmothers are the natural hustlers because they were the ones who maintained and sustained our families through epidemics. You're talking Big Mama went through slavery and held it. You're talking Big Mama went through the Depression and held it. Big Mama went through crack and held it and still maintains it today. So if you don't think you come